I didn't even have my shoes on when I heard the yelling. "You can't live here anymore." "I'm calling the cops." A woman perfectly polished, heels clicking on my driveway, was waving a piece of paper at me like it was some kind of law. My heart raced, but I stayed calm. She had no right to be here. I stepped outside and she squared her shoulders. "This is HOA property. You've violated multiple rules and I'm issuing an eviction notice." Her voice was sharp, condescending, like I had no right to breathe on my own land. "Eviction? On my own property?" I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "You need to leave." Her lips curled into that smug smile, the one people use when they think they've won before the game even starts. She reached for her phone. "Fine, I'll call the cops. They'll make you move immediately." Before I could react, 2 men in uniform appeared and my stomach sank. They weren't wearing badges I recognized. They were fake, obviously hired by her. "Sir, you need to come with us," one said. I stayed put, crossing my arms. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. This is my property. You can't just—" But she interrupted, pointing at the men. "Do what I say or you'll be arrested." That's when I felt the rush of adrenaline. I wasn't just some guy in sweatpants. I had proof, footage from my security cameras, legal documents proving my ownership, and a past in law enforcement that I hadn't mentioned to anyone. She had no idea who she was messing with. I smiled quietly to myself. "You really shouldn't have done that," I muttered under my breath, already planning the move that would turn the tables. And just like that, the perfect Karen, confident, untouchable, thinking she could bully me, didn't know her world was about to collapse. The fake cop stepped closer, but I didn't flinch. I reached for my phone and pressed a button. Security. Cameras all around my property were streaming live. Every move, every word, every smug smirk she had was being recorded. "You're under—" "Wait, what's that?" One of the men stammered, noticing the cameras. I kept my voice calm but firm. "That's called evidence. And yes, it shows exactly what you're trying to do. Trespass, impersonate law enforcement, and intimidate a homeowner." Her face went pale. She hadn't expected me to fight back. She always thought her fake authority was enough. That's not legal," she barked, trying to regain control. "Oh, it's very legal," I said. "And it's about to get a lot more expensive for you." I pulled out my HOA paperwork, all properly filed, and waved it in front of her. "You don't own this street. You don't have the authority to lock my gates or threaten my family. And guess what? Your fake cops aren't cops at all." Her eyes darted nervously, realizing the trap she'd walked into. I could almost hear her ego cracking. She lunged at me with her phone, ready to call someone else, but I calmly held up my hand. "Don't. One wrong move and every second of this is going straight to the authorities. And trust me, they will care." That's when the first shock hit. My neighbor, who had been watching from across the street, came running over. "I saw everything." "She's done this to others too. I have proof she forged documents." Karen's confidence shattered. You can't," I interrupted, smiling faintly. "Watch me." By the time the real cops arrived, called by a concerned neighbor, she was stumbling over her lies. Every fake threat, every attempt to scare me, it was all on camera. And my secret weapon, I hadn't even revealed that I used to train SWAT units for tactical situations. The moment she tried to push me physically, I calmly guided her aside, making it clear she had no chance. She left screaming, but not before I whispered, just loud enough for her to hear. "This is what happens when you mess with the wrong homeowner." I stood on my porch, my family safe, security cameras rolling, and my phone buzzing with alerts. The evidence was already going viral online. And I knew, deep down, this was only the beginning. The real twist was yet to come. By the time the real cops showed up, Karen was panicking. Her fake authority meant nothing now. Every lie, every forged document, every attempt to intimidate me was on video. She tried to talk her way out, but the footage was brutal. The officers shook their heads, exchanging looks that said it all. "You're under arrest for trespassing and impersonating law enforcement," one of them finally said. Her face went completely red, her perfect composure gone. She had humiliated herself in front of neighbors, in front of cameras, in front of the people she thought she controlled. I stepped forward calmly. "And don't forget the HOA harassment claims. You tried to threaten my family for no reason. That's not just illegal, it's shameful." The officers nodded, taking her into custody while my neighbor handed over their evidence of her forged HOA notices. Every angle was covered. Then came the twist nobody expected. The HOA itself had been investigating complaints against her for months. Once they saw my footage and the police report, they fast-tracked my claim. Within weeks, the court awarded me $250,000 in damages for harassment, intimidation, and emotional distress. I remember the day the check arrived. My kids were playing in the yard. My wife smiling beside me, and I just stood there, holding the check like a trophy. "We didn't just protect our home," I said. "We sent a message. Nobody threatens our family and gets away with it." The story went viral online. People were sharing clips of her fake cops, her meltdown, and my calm, confident responses. Comments poured in, "That's how you handle a Karen. Finally, justice for homeowners." I knew that day that standing your ground isn't just about property, it's about pride, family, and respect. And for anyone thinking about pulling a stunt like that on me, they now had a powerful warning: I don't back down. Because at the end of the day, I didn't fight for this country to have someone like her try to take what's mine. And thanks to careful planning, courage, and a little hidden power, justice wasn't just served, it was unforgettable. The end. Subscribe my YouTube channel for more stories.